This is like the database can be anything. That can be SQL Server, that can be MS Access, that can be Sybase, that can be anything. So database can be anything. Clear, right? For the learning purpose, we can use MS Access because right we have MS Access is built in for your MS Office. So this is the different databases. Here my QTP is there. So for example, this is my QTP. This is my QTP. This is my different databases in the organization. Now, I want to connect with the databases. And also inside the databases, what will happen? You may have n number of tables. This table 1, this table 2, this table 3, this table 4, like this. So n number of tables. So first what I will do is when I am working with my databases, first step what I will do is I will create an instance saying that I am going to work with my database. The database can be anything, but I will say that I am going to work with so and so database. Second step, what I will do is create a connection string. Connection string is very important to work with the database. Connection string is nothing but how to connect to a particular database. I want to work with so and so database. So how to connect to a particular database? That is nothing but your connection string. That is called connection string. Usually this connection string will be provided by the developer because we are not maintaining the servers. So what they will do is, as a developer, they have to provide this connection string saying that like your server is available in so and so, and this is the name of your server. All these details will be provided by your developers. That means connection string details will be provided by your developer. Once this is done, then what I have to do? Create a record set. That means what do you mean by here? Now I need to read the values from my tables. Here, right, you have to read the values from the tables. So you can read the values and then you can write your query whatever you want. How to read the values? Select the values by writing some queries. Same steps, these are also similar to your Excel only. Only thing is like right here instead of Excel, we are working with databases. What we will do? First thing is we will create an instance. Give some name. Create object. ADODB dot connection. So ADODB is the connection to connect to the database. ADO ActiveX data object connection. So this is ADO object is the database connection. For even developers also will use the same ADO for their .NET development. So if you want to connect your database, this is the instance name. Once you set this, then your QTP will understand that yes, user is trying to work with the database. Now I have to provide the connection string. This connection string will change database to database, and these details will be provided by your developer. They have to provide. That means how to connect to the database is nothing but your connection string. This connection string will vary from database to database. Now here, say for example, here my database is, this is my database. This is my database. This is my database. One of the database. I want to read this database. This is my database and I want to read this login file. That is my intention here. This is my database. I want to read this file. How to do that? If you want to read any database, you have to provide the connection string. Connection string will play a critical role, right? Now here, whenever if you want to provide your connection string, what you have to do is, usually connection string is nothing but, right, what you have to do is data source and provider. This is your connection string. Data source and provider. What do you mean by that? Here source is nothing but, right, what is the name of database, name of database, and provider is nothing but what is the driver name or how to connect, right, how to connect to that particular database and all. So this will be done by your developers and they will provide all these details. Now what I will do, same logic I will do. Now I want to connect, same logic. See, I am doing whatever I did in Excel, here also I am doing the same. Now what I will do, I will say that here my driver for MS Access is Microsoft Access driver. My extension of files is MDB ACCDB. See, if you know that MS Access files, right? MS Access files, the extension is MDB if it is 2003 file, and if it is 2010 files, then the extension is ACCDB. That means this is the driver to connect any MS Access files. And my source name is, what is my source name? This is my source name. So properties, source name. Source name is database 1.accdb, like this. So this is how to create that instance, and once the instance is created, you can create the connection string. Now what I will do, I want to read the values from that particular database. So you can create one object where you can store all the retrieved table values. I'll say that records set. I will create that object. Then I will say that ORS, you can write whatever the query you want. Now say for example, select star from, what is that table name here? My table name is login. That means then what you will do is all the values from this login table will store here. That ORS is equal to nothing. That OCON is equal to nothing. So this is the way to connect to your database. Let's see if there any doubt, any problem is there in the script first. So you are creating that databases, and then after that some problem. Drive connection string problem. Anything is wrong here. Driver, Microsoft driver, MDB, ACCDB. Okay, fine. Let me check that what is the problem. So this connection string is important. Database 28 March. Let me see. wrong. Anything wrong here? Oh, they should be capitals. Driver is capitals. So now what it will is? It will work now. It is not working. Data source name is not found. No default driver specific. Database from property DB. Okay. ACC. Correct only. Okay, this is fine. Okay, some problem with my database one. That's fine. Then I'm taking this one, database. These are all my databases only. So here I want to read the values from this particular table, table one. Okay. What I will do is, I will go here. So what I'm doing is, I'm creating this database and then I'm creating that connection string. Then I'm creating my record set, that means where you want to retrieve all the values. Then here you can write your query whatever you want. Say for example, if you want to retrieve a specific values, then you can write the query accordingly. So once you are writing the query, then all the details will store into your ORS. That means here it will store everything, it will store here. Table 1 is nothing but the table name. Like if you see here, inside my application, you may have n number of tables. From which table you want to store. So if here, I'm not writing my own values. If you open here, this is one of the tables. See, this is my table. From this table, I want to retrieve these details. So I have to provide my reference is table 1. And here you may have n number of tables. Okay. So now what I will is, I will start writing the values. Now as usual, right, say for example, I want to use in my so-and-so application, you can do that. So for example, I want to retrieve the values and use in this application. But database means, right, you have some limitations, but still you can work with any database and you can read all the values from your database. Usually, right, we will get the read-only access, and these details will be provided by your developers. Now what I will do, I want to read the values. How to read the values? See, whenever, right, if you are working with your databases, files, right, always try to use your do while instead of using your for loop. If it is application functionality, better to use your for loop. But if it is databases or files and all, always go with your do while. Say that do while ORS dot end of file. That means what you are doing, you are opening that table and you are checking that is this end of file, is your cursor is end of the file, then come out. If it is not end of the file, go inside of the loop and ORS dot fields of, what is the field name? My field name is username. See, I am not giving my own names. Whatever it is available in the table, I am giving here. That's it. This is my user. User password is ORS dot fields of password. So what it will do is, it will read the values. Now, see here, right, what you are saying is, if it is not end of the file, just read the line. But after reading the line, what I have to do? I have to go to the next line. See, if it is a data table, it will automatically go. But if it is database, means what you have to do is, you have to clearly mention. Once you are done with that row, move next. That means now what it will do is, first it will go to the first row, read this, then it will go to the second row, again it will check is the end of the file. If not, then it will read the file, and so on till that file is end of the file. Now let's see what will happen. You will put some message boxes here. First, whether it is reading properly or not, then we will use in the application. Using in the application, it's not a big deal. Like as usual, like how we used in the earlier, right? Same thing. This might work, right? Oh, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, my mistake. I had to provide the reference. Okay, this is my reference. Yeah, fine. So what it will is, see, it is reading the first row, first username, first password, second username, second password, and so on. It will read n number of values here. Now, if you want, right, you can also have a look on this database. You can also have a look on this database. See, first username, first password, second username, second password, and so on. That means, right, here what we are doing is, right, here we are trying to open that database and reading the values, and if you want to use in the application, yeah, you can use as it is. This is how to work with the databases. So you need to understand like how to read the values, and if you are good with these queries, right, if you are good with your SQL queries, you can pass the whatever that SQL query you want. See here, right, I am using a simple query, but if you are good with your queries, you can pass any query. This will not change. This will not change. Remember, right, all these are not changed. Only thing is this connection string will change based on your databases, and everything will be same, and this query will be changed based on your requirement. Now let's see whether it is working or not. Again I am running this. Let's see. So this is how to work with the database. Just try to analyze that, right, how I am working it. See, let's see. See, it is here. It is taking my first values and it is taking the second values. If you want, you can cross check. See, this is my second row. Right? What you can do, right? See, usually what will happen is sometimes I want to read the values from my databases, and after reading the values, compare with your front end. Then what you can do, read the values and create a loop and go to your front end, and if you want, you can cross check whether it is displaying properly or not. Any doubt on this, let me know. Before moving to that keyboard simulation, if you have any doubt, let me know. But practice is much required on this. Create the database connection, create the connection string, create that record set, write the query and store all the values in my record set, and then create a loop and then read the values inside of your record set. Okay. You can do your practice and let me know.
Lines from 1 to 7 will be same, right?
Yeah, this is the all. This is right. This is same. Only thing is right here based on our table or based on the values inside the table. Here our logic will change. Say for example, if you are having n number of fields, then I will create n number of variables and use it in my application. This is common, but connection string, like this connection string will change from database to database. Say for example, if it is a SQL server, I cannot use the same driver. I have to use something else. So right, working with Excel and working with databases, these two are very important, because if you want to clear the interviews and all, right, if you are comfortable with these two, then you can easily clear the things. Okay. Now very small topics are there, very small things like working with keyboard simulation and working with mouse clicks. See, this is two actually very small things, but yeah, really makes the difference. This is really makes the difference. That means, right, sometimes what will happen is I will create the order, and if I want to reflect my order in the application, I need to refresh the page. Just imagine if you want to refresh the page during your execution, how you can do? You cannot go there and manually you can do that. But what I can do is during my execution also, if I want to refresh the page, if I do my F5 from my keyboard, it will work. That means, right, what you can do is you can send any keys from your keyboard to the script. So if I'm working with my application and if I want to send any keys from my application keyboard, then I can use this. And say for example, sometimes, right, just imagine, right, sometimes my object is available at very bottom of the page. When my object is available at the bottom of the page, what you will do usually, I will use my page up, page down. When you say that page up, page down, right, I cannot go to my keyboard every time and then click on page up and page down. What I will do is I will write the scripts what you want to do. I will say that please go to your keyboard and do that operation. Here you can do any operation, like you can pass any keyboard, whatever may be that keyboard. You can do anything. Now I will show you like how to do that keyboard simulation. This is a simple script, but it will be really useful. Now, whenever if you want to work with your keyboard simulations, you have to create an instance. That is a common thing. You have to create an instance called create object wscript dot shell is the create instance. Once this instance is created, yeah, you are done. Send keys. See, you can have a method called send keys. Now you can send any keys from your keyboard, any keys. Now I want to know like right which key I can send, and also which key like right if I want to send F5 how to send, if I want to send F2 how to send, like this. Now you can see here each and every key is having the argument. Say for example, if you want to send backspace from your script, that means this is the argument. If I want to send caps lock, no need to by heart this. Just remember, right, the method is send keys, and then when you say that F1, then it will open this help. So you can send any keys, and also if you want to send these keys like shift, control, alt, everything you can send it. Now say for example, right, we will write some script. Now I want to close this application. How to close this application? Tell me. I want to close this application. How to close this? Through my keyboard. See, if I say that cancel, it will close, but I don't want to close through my clicking cancel and all. I want to close this application through my keyboard. How to close? Alt F4. When you say that Alt F4, then it will close. Alt F4, it will close. So if you want to close any application, I can say that Alt F4. So what I will do is, I will say that send keys Alt F4. Send keys, what I have to do? Alt. What do you mean by Alt here? Alt means percentage. I'll go here. Alt F4. What is my F4? F4. This is my argument, F4. F4. That means, right, what it will do is, it will close it. That's it. And, sorry, set WSH is equal to nothing. But here you have to do one thing. If you say that Alt F4, then QTP don't understand. You said that Alt F4, fine, I will close it, no issues. But which application you want me to close it? You have to highlight that. That means, say for example, if you open 5-6 browsers and if you said that refresh, as a QTP, how QTP will know that which application has to refresh? You have to highlight that application which you need to refresh. Then it will refresh. That means before closing, what I will do is, I will highlight my application which I am going to close it. That means what I will do is, I will highlight my application. That means you can do any operation. First I will activate. That means my application will be activated. Then it will say that Alt F4. Then this particular application will be closed. Because if you are not highlighting, how QTP will know that which application has to close? Because activating. So this is 3 steps only. See here. When you execute this, your script will work. See, it's closed. Okay, fine. Now say for example, I want to set the value in my agent name, but I don't want to set through automation. I want to set through keyboard. I'm talking. If you want to set the value, you can do that. Now what I will do is, I will say that WSH dot send keys, I will say that plus testing. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by plus? See here, if we go back here, help, plus is nothing but my shift testing. That means it will enter all the capital letters of testing in your username field. You can pass any keys you can pass. There is no limitation actually. Right? Now if you want to see your browser also, what you can do is just highlight that browser which you want to like refresh it, and then when you say that F5, it will be refreshed. So this send keys will be right, sometimes will be very useful. Like say for example here, this is my web application and my object is somewhere here down. Then what you can do is you can say that page down. When you say that page down, application will go down. So you can use any keys from your keyboard. Say for example, I wanted to work with this particular page. So what you can do is, first as usual, like only thing is what you have to do is you have to highlight that application and you can do whatever you want. So for hello, hello, can you hear me? Hello, why I'm muted in between?
I'm not sure, but we lost your voice for a few minutes.
Oh, I'm muted. I don't know how come. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Now here, what will happen is, right, whenever if you want to send any keys from your keyboard, right, you can create the instance called wscript.cell and you can send your keys by using send keys. That means, right, you can send any keys, and which keys you can send means go to your help and you can check that. For each and every key, you are having your arguments here. Each and every key, shift, control, alt, and each and every key for your keyboard. But before sending the key, only thing is make sure that that particular application is activated. Otherwise, QTP don't know where to send these keys. So first activate that application and then pass whatever the keys you want. Fine? Clear? Fine. Now, one more simple thing is, right, now here, this is a workaround I can say actually. This is not right actual script, workaround. That means right sometimes what will happen is you will stuck up with your scripting. Right, I am not able to proceed with my scripting. This is workaround. Like see what will happen is when I am entering my agent name, it is entering properly. When I am entering password, it is entering properly. And when I am clicking on OK, and when I am clicking on OK manually, it is working. But when I do the same thing through my automation, it is clicking, but nothing is happening to my application. That can be any reason. That can be because right developer disable that automation clicks, whatever may be the reason. Such kind of situation, what is my workaround? Instead of clicking this OK button through automation, what I will do is I will click this OK button through manually. But here you are clicking through manually, but here you are writing a script to click this OK button through manually. So we are writing the script to particular button manually. How to do that? See, when you want to click on this particular OK button, what you will usually, you will move the thumb. Yeah, Shipra. Now, so what we will do is here, yeah, Shipra. Now, what you will do is, right, if you want to do any mouse clicks and if you want to perform any mouse operations, then you have to say that create object, and this is my instance, Mercury.deviceDisplay. That means once you create this, then your mouse will be activated. Now what is my intention? I want to click on any button, whatever may be that. So what you can do, when you want to do any click operation, you need to get the X and Y axis of that particular button. How to get that X and Y axis? Tell me. How to get the X and Y axis button? Any idea? Okay. How to get the X and Y axis? How to get X and Y axis of the, no, why low recording under? Why low level recording? We are, see, always we will try to avoid our recording. We will try to write the scripts. I told you, right? So whenever if you want to get anything from, if you want to fetch anything from the object, use your getRO property. Simple. Why you are talking about your, right, getRO property of, what property I want here? I want my x-axis. How to get the x-axis? Click on this, go to the object, see that which property is relevant. You can see here x-axis and y-axis. Here we are getting that x-axis and y-axis in the runtime. So if the values are changing also, I don't mind because I am getting in the runtime. So I will copy this. And low level recording, what will happen? You are getting some x and y axis. When you are trying to execute and X and Y axis may change. That means, right, it is with respect to screen. So it may change. So unnecessary issues will come. So what I will do is I will try to always use my script only. I don't want to use my recording options. Always, right, you have to avoid recording options and try to write the scripts always. That is the better method. Get a row property of ABS underscore Y. Once you got it, now what I will do, O mouse dot mouse click. What is my x-axis and y-axis? Y-axis. That means what your QTP will do is, it will move the cursor to this x and y axis, and what you want to do, left mouse, middle mouse, or right mouse, what you want? I want left mouse click. Now see what will happen is, when you say like this, set O mouse is equal to nothing. Now when you execute this, now click on run, see what will happen. Where it is clicking, I don't know. Where it is clicking, I don't know. So better to highlight my application, then it will click proper. Highlight my application. Okay, now click on run. See, this is how to work with your mouse clicks. That means, right, here what you are doing is, right, you are trying to get that x and y axis of the particular object, and then in the runtime move my cursor to that location and click that object, and you can do left, you can do more right, you can do middle click, whatever you want, you can do that. This is your one of the workaround whenever if you face some issues while writing the scripts, right? This is how to work with your mouse, how to work with your keyboards, right, like this. So now I left with two topics, very important one. One is descriptive programming. As part of the descriptive programming, I will talk about the functions, how to write the functions, right? Till now I never talk about the functions. Now as part of my descriptive programming, I will talk about the functions, how to write the functions, and then what is descriptive programming. I will talk about my descriptive programming. Once we are done with the descriptive programming, then I will talk about some recovery scenarios and that. And as you said, right, I will talk about some interview questions like on Saturday. I'm planning to take 2-hour sessions. Please plan accordingly. That means, right, your Friday I will try to complete this descriptive programming, and Saturday morning, I will take 2 hours. First 1 hour I will complete that session, and then next 1 hour I will take the interview questions. Okay, fine. Yeah, tell me if you have.
I wanted to ask you a few simple questions basically. Yeah. What is virtual app object?
Virtual object and all, right. See, what will happen is sometimes, right, if you don't have object, right, then what you can do is you can create your own object and use it. But I don't think that will be useful. See, what will happen is, if you want, right, what you can is you can create your own object. That means, right,
But
I don't think that
we are creating our own objects only while working with Excel. So are they virtual objects?
this is not working with Excel. This is with respect to your application. Say for example, if you are working with ABC application and right, if you want to create your virtual object, then you can go here and then you are creating your own object. Say for example, I want to create a button for my application. Just you are creating a virtual, but actually that is not available in my application. I am creating my own virtual. And what you can do is,
This will not be present in object repository.
No. It is not. This is nowhere depends on your object repository. You are creating separately. But I don't think this will be useful.
Okay. Acha, what is this cross-platform testing and cross-browser testing?
Cross browser is nothing but, see, you remember environment variables. Cross platform is nothing but, you remember, like you select case, right? What I will do is, right, I will pass my OS here, right? Here I will say that my case is equal to XP. That means you are testing the same script with different platforms. That is nothing but my
Operating
crash
system.
platform. And if you are testing that script with different browsers, that is nothing but your crash browser testing,
Okay.
right? See, everything is same. Only thing is here, I wanted to work with multiple browsers. That is nothing but my class browser testing. I want to work with multiple operating system. That is nothing but my class OS testing. That's it.
Okay. And one thing more. What is ordinal identifier?
Ordinal identifier. We discussed it.
I forgot.
Ordinal identifier, position of the object in your application. If you see here, ordinal identifier. Ordinal identifier. So ordinal identifier is part of your object identification mechanism, and this ordinal identifier is used to identify the object based on the location where exactly that object is located in the application, and this can be done by using index and location. Index is nothing but the position of the object with respect to the same kind of objects, and location is nothing. What is that other one? By location. Location is nothing but this is the position of the object with respect to all kind of objects. That means what will happen is, now if you want to identify your objects, and if you are able to identify the object with your normal properties, I will never go with my ordinal identifier. If I am unable to identify the object with my properties, then I will go to that ordinal identifier. Ordinal identifier means here you are trying to identify the object based on the location where exactly it is available in the application. Okay. So what I will do, right? You can go through that queries and all, right? I will talk about all the queries, whatever the doubts you have on Saturday. You can come up with a number of doubts, no problem. Okay, fine then. And we will meet as usual Friday and also Saturday 2 hours.
Okay.
The